Welcome to Marvel Champions podcast. It's a podcast about Marvel Champions, the card game. I'm your host, Scott, and with me, as always, my co-host, Ryan.
What up, brother? We're here. I'm here.
Yes, I'm still catching up on some sleep. I'm still dragging through work.
That does it to you when you stay up late playing some Marvel Champions.
Marvel Champions. I assume people read titles. We wanted to give like a basic MCDC kind of recap. Some of our high points, some of our thoughts. Nothing crazy. There's a lot of other bigger people that are doing a bunch of stuff, so we're not going to go into a bunch of details, but I think from our perspective, some of our high points and what we liked and the experience.
Yeah, it was awesome. It's just right off the bat. This has been our first Marvel Champions con. I guess really it's just been Con of Heroes, and we haven't been able to go. So it's nice that this one's a little closer to home. So we were able to make it work. It's awesome.
We were able to drive, which made cut down some costs for us, and it was awesome. A lot of fun. It was definitely a new experience.
Yeah, I think some of the biggest changes is you and me generally either play solo or two players. Very rarely have we done a 3 or 4 player. And then the times we've done those, it's generally teaching someone. And those games can go a little bit long. And a lot of like, hey, maybe you should do this. This is how you actually play the game to these new players, so that we're not just absolutely getting destroyed by who knows who we're playing against.
Yeah, that was, I think, a majority, almost every single one of our games was 4-player minus the PvP that we did.
Mm-hmm.
So it was definitely a new experience to see what a 4-player game looks like. What you can do some really cool, fun things with decks. You normally don't like, hey, I never really thought about that card because I play 2 players and it just doesn't seem like it's a viable thing. And you're like, whoa, that worked pretty cool.
Yeah, that was a huge thing. Is a lot of the decks we brought are tested in solo and 2 players. So when you get them into these 4-player arenas, they operate different. There's a difference between, say, 10 scheme and 20 scheme. So your what's one of my favorites cards, Justice, the draw card one, 1 cost, 2 thwart.
I was gonna say one way or another, but
it's not. I can't believe I can't.
You're talking about clear the area.
Clear the area, thank you. Some people listen to this and like, I don't think he plays the game.
Do they even play the game, really?
Sorry, yes, it's one of my favorites, and I forgot the name. That card it's like a drop in the bucket of these 4-player thwarts. You really gotta like set up to get that to kick off. So it really isn't as strong of a card in those bigger player counts.
Yeah, because then with like a card like that, you're like, can anybody do like 6 threat and then let me take off the last 2?
Yeah,
please.
Kind of.
Yeah,
kind of a like a picky player. Like, well, come on, if you can just do this 8 threat, I will take care of the rest.
Yeah, and even like timing stuff, like performing actions off turn, and like I've got to wait all the way around to get to me to do what I want to do. And I can really help, but I can't do it because it's not my turn. So that was some newness, but it was a lot of fun. I think the other cool thing is just like the community of people that play the game is awesome. Everyone's just like, hey, you want to play a game? Yeah, let's pick it up and go. Hey, I'm so and so. Nice to meet you, and you just go. Yeah. Everybody knows how to play the game.
Yeah, everyone we met in person, because some we've communicated through podcast or Discord. It was really nice to actually meet them and talk to them. Everyone was incredibly nice and helpful and friendly, and it really goes to show that the community is awesome. And sometimes there are those turd buckets that are not very nice on like Facebook, but the actual like community is awesome. So I think it's really nice to have just a positive environment in playing this game, because it's cooperative, right? Except for when you do PvP. So it's all about just hanging out, having fun time, beating up some bad guys.
Yeah, and I don't think we'll name drop too many people because we met so many cool people, and I don't want to leave anyone out. But we met so many
so
cool
we're gonna
people.
Leave everyone out.
Everyone out, right? We're gonna make sure everyone's included in leaving out. So.
Yeah,
but I think like the setup of MCDC was really cool. You got to do the custom campaign. That first day, they introduced their cool encounter sets. There's other channels that have talked about them, but like the Doom encounter set was really cool. Really cool mechanic of having kind of him start one way, kind of progress through the game. He changes, then he can get potentially like really bad. And then so that was fun having to deal with that. The Fantastic Four encounter set was a lot of fun because they're bad guys at first, they're minions, and you can get them, they're allies. That played a lot of fun.
Well,
Those are
especially
the
the game you played, you got all 4 of the Fantastic Four over
yeah, I
here.
know. I
Greedy.
needed that to be a con achievement to be able to control all 4, not just at the table, but just yourself control all 4 Fantastic Four. So that was
Yeah,
fun to be able to accomplish that.
if it wasn't an official achievement, but it definitely was an achievement. So congratulations.
I
I
count
don't know if
it.
anyone else did it in a 4-player game.
Yeah, I count that as an achievement.
Yeah, I'd like to. Day 2, they wrapped it up with kind of like that campaign. They wrapped it up with a big Loki battle, which was a great experience. It was something that I didn't know if I'll ever get to do. So I'm grateful that it happened at the con, and it was unique. Is really weird because you're very separated in a way from the other players, but there is a little bit of that, like you are kind of working together. But it was such a mass amount of players and like the health of Loki that you're kind of distant a little bit, but it was still really cool. We would never had that opportunity if the designers didn't make it that way. So
Yeah, that was like his health was over 1,000. I know it was higher. It was like 14 or 1,600 to start with, and you're just like, holy cow, that is a crazy amount of health. But it it kind of slogged through a little bit, and then once we like broke under that halfway mark, everybody was just kind of firing all cylinders, and it just shot down really quick.
yeah, I remember when they were like, "We're at the final." Like he was getting like 200 health. I was first player, and I was Star-Lord, and I was just trying to run through my turn as quick as possible. So I was hoping we would get the final kill. We did not. We didn't get the final kill. There was another table playing Kicksilver that
Yep.
got it.
Yep. It was funny because like at our table, like people would either thwart out or die, and we're like to be that guy. And then at our table, we ran through 2 lives in like one round,
Yes,
which was hilarious.
we were those guys
We were those
at
now, not
one point.
us, the people we're playing with.
We're no
They know who
names.
they are. Yeah, we won't name
No.
names.
Well, if we thread out, we all threaded out.
Yeah,
But
that's right. That's true.
it was a very unfortunate circumstance that killed one of our teammates. That
Yeah, it was just like a
there's
bad.
no way you can get around that one.
Yeah. Let's see what else. Yeah, that was fun playing with like your pod. So our table was 2 pods, and to be able to kind of like interact and help each other with that big minion in this big side scheme. You're like, "Hey, can you do
Yeah.
this?" "Yes, here's this." And you're like, "Oh, sweet. I can take that out." And we had played Loki a couple times before, but not like that.
No, it was very unique.
It was a lot of fun, and it was like you could feel the energy. Everyone's like cheering at the end. Everyone's just kind of pumped. It was cool.
Yeah, yeah. That was cool. And then following that was PvP. They did some PvP. Civil War was out. People wanted to do it, and it made sense. You're at a con, might as well
Right?
do it, right? So
Yeah.
that's what
That
we did.
was
You and me, we did it.
Saturday afternoon, kind of through the evening. That was like the big push was get people to play PvP if you wanted to. That was the other cool thing is like technically you could just go to the con and not participate and just play if you wanted to. Everybody was cool. The
Yeah.
PvP was. Well, I'm glad we got to experience it the way we did, because I could see like playing. Hey, we're gonna play PvP with you. Two like noobs and just
Man,
destroy them. But to play
jeez.
with people who know how to play the game, like not scheming, I guess, prepping for a PvP experience, and it plays different than your kind of standard cooperative. And it was nice to see how the balance, like they really put in a lot of work and effort to make sure it was a good experience. You can
Yeah.
see that.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, this isn't probably like a review for PvP quite yet. I feel like we need to do at least 2 or 3 more rounds of it. But we were able to play 3 games of it. There's definitely it's a different beast. So like we played quite a few cooperative Civil War battles and in 4 players, and they were difficult in their own ways. They felt very like traditional, very much like you punch a lot, you thwart, you deal with things. Not much of like a story or uniqueness to each scenario. In PvP though, it felt a lot quicker. Kind of like that rush strategy kind of seemed to be a more common thing in there. So it kind of you kind of have to choose your hero wisely. Heroes that require lots of setup are probably not going to be the best heroes to take on a match like that.
I think the other thing for me that I found kind of a lot of joy in, and like, oh, please work, was like setting up your leader to give to the opposing
Yes.
team. Was like, okay, if we do this encounter set and this one, and hopefully it will kind of mesh well with the leader and it'll do what we want it to do. And it was kind of mixed bag there. Like one was like perfect and it worked really well, and then one it was like backfiring on us.
Yeah. There definitely is an element of luck. I mean, just like in any Marvel Champions game, you could just get a bad series of encounter cards that really just hurt you. And that was what kind of happened on one of our games. There was a game that we just had bad first hands, and it really hurt our ability to deal with the cards that were given to us. And we just couldn't. We were kind of playing from behind at that point. We came close, but they had us. So it was nothing we could do at that point.
Yeah, they don't have a speed racer complex built into to PvP.
Yeah. It makes sense how the villains are very similar, and they're not a very complicated villain. It's just because there's got to be a balance. See, unlike cooperative, there doesn't need to be a balance with villains. You're going to have your hard villains, you're going to have your easy villains. But in a situation like PvP, there's got to be some type of balance, because ultimately you're going to find people lean towards one leader to take on versus another, and you just have to. It's tough that the designers had to do that, and I think they did a pretty dang good job for what we have right now for balancing.
Yeah, and I liked how the games were relatively close most of the time. It was just like a good kind of back and forth. Typically, somebody wasn't like way far ahead.
Yeah. The one thing I really liked about PvP that I wasn't anticipating, I just didn't think about it because it's a cooperative game, is the anxiety and excitement of it. It gets a little anxious because not only are you trying to deal with your own stuff, but you're trying to beat them and they're doing well, your opponent. And it gets a little anxious of like, what's going on? And then towards the end, because it's generally like a push for the very end, you can see some crazy moments like, I can't believe we just did 30 something damage in one turn to pull off the win type stuff. Like those several times I heard like people going, oh, and that's just something that you don't hear as often in cooperative.
Right. Let's see what else. I liked the games we got to play at like the hotel, like after the con kind of stopped for the night. So many different groups went back to the hotel, and you got another game or two in with like more people that you hadn't played with that day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Just 24/7 Marvel Champions is pretty fun. Way to spend your weekend.
It's funny. There's definitely points, especially like the end of days, that I was just kind of like, whew, I think I'm tired. I think I'm good. I don't have to play another game. But it's funny, once I got home, I'm kind of like, anybody want to play a game? I'm like ready to play.
Yeah, it's that like hype train. You're like on that, you're still on that high. Yeah.
I'm on the MCDC high right now.
There's your commercial, Ryan. Like, are you suffering from MCDC withdrawal? Try Marvel Champions.
Prime Marvel Champions. Lasts longer than 4 hours.
If your PvP game lasts longer than 2 hours, please seek medical help.
Switch to standard mode.
That's right. One thing I liked is we did like a random challenge back at the hotel, and that was like one of my like most fun games. That was a lot of fun. Not only just playing with the people we played with, but to be able to succeed in the challenge was really cool.
Yeah, we had a member of the community that was way smarter than me devise how to do this challenge, and it worked. And it was really cool because they had planned their character, they had another character in mind, and it was very fortunate that we had characters ready that actually complemented what was trying to be done. And so I think it made it a lot easier.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think real quick we can do, of course, not reviews, but we can do maybe first impressions of Hulkling and Tigra. That's a controversial.
There's some debate.
There's
El
debate.
Tigre. Yeah.
El Tigre. So we're probably going to say one or the other, and they're both going to be right. So no complaining.
I played Tigra more than I played Hulkling, and in a 4-player game, she can just be crazy good. Especially like a lot of the things we played had a ton of minions, so it was like a good change of pace because a lot of times I'm not a huge fan of a bunch of minions, but she could definitely deal with them. Gets a lot of benefits and complements the whole minion kind of archetype, and she can deal a ton of damage.
Yeah. I only got to play with her once. No, or did I do it twice? I think only really once. And so far, it seems like she was pretty solid. She really is dependent on some of her upgrades to get her engine going, but it's not necessary. She has her own engine built in with her cards, but having those upgrades really makes her shine. So
Yeah.
And then
Hulkling?
yeah, Hulkling, I got to play with him a solid one time, and I want to say a third time, but I can't remember. I blacked out. But Hulkling was very interesting. I think he has a potential to do a lot of things within like deck building and whatnot. I ran a Justice with him because that's what we needed in that group, and he operated just fine doing that. But he also did quite a bit of damage. He's one of those heroes that he's very diverse, and he can take on the role very well of whatever role he needs to do.
Yeah, he's got a good toolbox that he can just go get the tool that he wants to use and do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my similar thoughts with him. It was nice to see, like you said, there's a lot of smarter people than us, like deck builders. And it was like, oh yeah, that's a pretty good card I hadn't thought about. Or that combo of a couple of cards is works well. I think the other two things with them is they will take a lot of people back to some Avenger cards that have kind of been, I don't want to say useless, but just kind of have forgotten or not thought about in like 3-4 years. It's going to make a lot of old cards kind of more relevant again.
Yeah, which is good. It's nice to go back to like the Avenger trait and see how that trait has evolved with newer cards and such. So I think it's cool. I hope they are able to maybe revisit some of these older ones like Guardians. I don't know if they'll ever go back to Champions, but I'm sure we'll get a Web Warriors eventually again soon too. Well, we kind of just did with Silk, but
Yep.
yeah, I think overall the box has been a very positive thing for the community. It's offered 2 heroes that so far appear to be pretty solid. It offers 4 scenarios that are similar in ways, but that's because it offers a whole new way of playing with PvP. So I think the kind of the main subject of the con was Civil War and Loki. Those are kind of like the big takeaways that I had.
I didn't say the games, but like they did a custom campaign. We talked about the Doom cards, the Fantastic Four, but they did like Civil War leader with their stuff in it. Then you did an Enchantress with some of the custom stuff, which was fun. It was a fun to play her in 4-player, and then it was a hella game that was just hella crazy.
It was bonkers.
Because like they tempted you with like some player side schemes that start out, they all have victory, and she loves victory side schemes. So it was bonkers. by the end of that game. I was
I'm
like
surprised we
7.
won. Yeah. To be honest, I'm surprised we won that game, but it worked out in the end, I guess.
Yeah. I think so. The other thing was Sunday was just kind of like a come and play. You can keep playing random games. There was some like focus on custom content. I got to play a custom hero. That was fun. We got to have people play our custom scenario that we'll talk about more hopefully
Ooh.
soon. We got a lot of good feedback. We appreciate everyone who play tested our stuff. We appreciated you taking the time to do that. So
Yeah. It was fun to play our scenario, but it was fun to watch other people play it and give their feedback, and it seemed like overall it was a positive experience. So it's exciting to keep working on it, share it with the community, and maybe we'll have more in the future.
yeah.
There's always ideas up in the head.
I think the other big thing is just all the people that put that on. It was a lot of work. You had a lot of orange lanyards. Those were the kind of the
Hmm.
people that put on the event, and it was glad to see that they were able to get in and play games and didn't have to do all the administrative work all the time. They kind of shared that load and were able to kind of just do everything. And there was prizes and a raffle, so tons of stuff. Everyone was cool. Yeah. Awesome. If you ever get a chance to do something like that, Con of Heroes, MCDC, it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, it would. We would love to try to do one even further south, but talking about it time wise, it's tough to find like a good weekend that fits within, like that's not taking away from like Con of Heroes, that opportunity for people to go, or MCDC. It sounds like they're wanting to make this a regular thing. I know people do stuff at Gen Con. So I would love to do like a down south con, but I don't know if there's a really a good timing for it. So we may just have two big cons and then that's it. And they're two great cons, so it's hard to
Yep.
fit in with those at that caliber of level. So
All right, Ryan. Anything else?
overall, great experience. Thank you to all those that put it on. Thank you for all those that came and supported it, because it was a blast. I had lots of fun. My wife doesn't understand, but that's okay. She doesn't need to understand, because I'm the only one that can walk in both worlds.
So when I was talking with my wife, I was like, "Yeah, we're super famous there. People love us. People know us. It's like autographs." And she's like, "You're not serious." And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, autographs, pictures, everything." And I didn't fill in all the details. There was one guy who he wanted you to sign like an extra resource card for him to kind of remember who you played with, like what games. One guy would take pictures
Yeah,
of the whole group. So
yeah.
technically, autographs and
Autographs
pictures
and
with
pictures.
it.
Yeah,
So, uh,
that was good. We did get to meet Caleb, which was cool.
yeah,
So it was good just to say hi to him and appreciate all the hard work he's done for the game. And I mean, it wouldn't be here probably without him. So that was cool.
yep, yeah, it was cool. Everything was just awesome. I don't think there was any negatives. Even though like the venue
Uh,
was great, the like hotel was close, there was food all around. If you had a bad time, that was on you.
yeah, I don't think I don't really have like a negative other than I wish it didn't have to end. I didn't have to
Uh,
drive back to go to work and
yeah,
be with my family. I'm just kidding. I was with my
dang
new
right.
family. Just kidding. Just kidding. I love my family. But I was glad for that opportunity and my
Yeah.
family away from my family.
Another cool thing, Ryan, that I really liked, and this is gonna have like a weird cut, so just kind of be ready for it. Another cool thing that I liked is the alt arts that you got. So you got some as part of MCDC. You got a ton of swag, and there's so many cool content creators, even just like regular people that have skills, a unique set of skills for some alt art cards. That was another fun thing, was to kind of hunt down for some of your favorite stuff and trade and barter, and yeah, that was cool.
There was just so many like goodies that were there, and it was awesome to see all the alt arts and just the hard work that people have put in those. There were some just really cool ones, and I think we got the best ones personally. But it was really cool. People
There was a
trading, trying to get certain ones.
there was a couple I was like, I didn't realize they had those. So
I know.
until
Like
I saw them.
we're like heading home, and you're like, yeah, someone had this one. I was like, I didn't know that one was there. I didn't see that one.
Yeah. But
So
like a lot of them, like now I'm like, I think I'm gonna always run this particular art now. Like
yeah,
when I
why
play this
not?
card, it's gonna be this art just because it looks so good.
Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to think of my favorite one. I think there was a several that had just really cool, like psychedelic kind of backgrounds, and like there was a spectrum that was really good, a ghost spider. I thought there was a cool nebula one. Um, just a lot of just really cool designs. We got one of the rare beast ones that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
You know, shout out to the beast, the No Hero X-Men.
that's right.
Got cut from the main line.
Cut from the main line. Oh, good old Hank.
Bless his heart.
It makes me like want to try and figure out a way to make something cool to give out. So
I
a
know.
lot of cool stuff. So
Whenever we do ChumpCon.
ChumpCon. Yeah.
ChumpCon.
ChumpCon. All right. Yeah. So that was pretty good. Yep. And if we played a game with you, thank you. And we appreciate everybody listening and listening to us ramble. If you have any questions about MCDC and we can kind of maybe answer some stuff, or if you have specifics about it, feel free to reach out to us on YouTube, comment on the video, marvelchampionspod@gmail.com. And as always, if you want to go from a chump to a champ, listen to the Marvel Champions podcast. Thanks.
See you at the next con.
See
Hopefully.
ya 2026 MCDC.
Hopefully, at least.
Bye, everybody.